Welcome back to Briggs on Books. We have next one of my favorite guests of all time. He and I have a problem that we start talking and we can't stop, and the interviews go on and on. But I'm always happy to have you, Peter, because you're one of the most fascinating guests I have. Tell our viewers
Thank you.
where you're located right now.
I am in Los Angeles, California.
Nice. Is that you live on the lake there?
I don't live on it, but that's across the street from it, and it's an
It's
image
across the
of it.
street. Very nice. Hey, I have got, by the way, I have you listed as an author, a gerontologist, a musician, and the odd comic relief. So um, I've got a couple of your book covers here. Where do you want to start, Peter?
Well, I was going to just remind the readers that when I started publishing, which was in June of 2022, I came out with Alive After Dying, which is a memoir. And the reason it's called that is it's not about life after death. It is a story that when a loved one dies, a piece of us dies with them, leaving us feeling alive after dying. So it deals with grief, and it also deals with two subcategories: the discovery of my sexual orientation and my escape from the Catholic Church. You know, that little country in the middle of Italy that
Yeah.
by itself. And then the other two books, which are out, Her Immortal Menagerie is a science fiction metaphysical space opera.
Hmm.
And it delves into my studies of gerontology, um, where we're always fascinated with what, how do we extend our lives? And I explored the elements of immortality from a variety of different angles. And this time I'm a bit more prepared to tell you what those stories are about instead of being as cryptic as I was the last time.
Okay.
Shall I tell you, or you want to
Yes.
get? Okay. Book one, The Secret Scrolls. When you open, well, if you open the Kindle book, the very first thing you're going to see are 4 pages of scrolls. No, you don't have to know them. No homework involved. What they are, since many people have read the book and have already reviewed it and kind of spoiled it, they are plans for a trans-dimensional spaceship. And they have been hidden since the time of Atlantis, the mythical continent that has been around apparently, well, was destroyed over 12,000 years ago. And those scrolls were hidden since then and are being found by a woman named Terry Zion in 1983. And in 1983, she was over 190 years old. You
Oh,
know that right away. She was friends with one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, James Monroe, fifth president of the United States. And she has been a guiding force in the way the U.S. has been developing, much to the chagrin of the APES, yes, the APES, the American Puritan Ethics Society. They don't like her. She formed the Society of the Magicum in 1818. And when she did, she also started to work later on with a organization in England called Fellowship Science, who is now run by Dr. Lawrence D. Tepish. Dr. Tepish is a leading geneticist, and he's trying to cure the ills of humanity, but he has a secret too. And between Terry and Lawrence, they are trying to work together to make the world a better place. And at the beginning, when we find out, after she finds out in book one, when she finds the scrolls, they have to find someone who's going to activate a ship.
mm.
Meanwhile, out in space, there is an 11,500-year-old alien who's actually done this.
Mm.
And he's from Atlantis. He's also not human. And he has a secret also in regards to helping humanity fend off any kind of attacks on the earth. They don't know that. He does this from an altruistic point of view, even though he says it's against his better judgment.
Hmm.
Um, and he's also friends with Terry Zion and Lawrence. And together, they are trying to help humanity with a non-dogmatic way of discovering truth. The second book takes off
What?
in 1991.
And what's the
The,
second one called?
the second book is called Ethos of Legends, which is basically the morality of that which we hold sacred in terms of our legends and our societies all over the planet. Oh, and just a little aside from book one, there are two characters who are lovers. Andrew Ebro, a Muslim young man, and Trevor Kent Thomas, a Protestant. They're both in their early 20s. They've been dating for 2 years. One of them is Lawrence's nephew, and Trevor, is possessed by the demon Thebatat. And Thebatat was the dictatorial ruler in Atlantis,
Mhm.
which you hear about in book one. And he is he wants to fall in love with Andrew. Andrew is in love with him, but he ends up breaking up with him because the guy just can't tell him that he loves him.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of romance involved. However, Andrew and Trevor, being gay, they are fascinated by religion because they want to find, their place in the universe. And Andrew is in a unique position, and that's all I'll say about Andrew,
About
to
Andrew.
decode the scrolls.
He could decode them.
He's going to decode these scrolls. And by the end of book one, he does. But there's two ways to activate a ship.
Hmm.
You can use your personality ray, which is something that tethers you to the physical manifestation of our bodies, or a soul ray, which will allow you to unite with your cosmic origin, or God, if you want to call it that. And Andrew does that by the end of book one. But someone visits him right as he's taking off. And at the end of the second book, like I said, I don't do cliffhangers. It's a saga.
Yep.
You're very satisfied when you get to the end of book one. I've answered the questions. And then we go to book two, and Ethos of Legends starts in 1991 with the death of a famous rock star, Freddie Mercury.
Huh.
He died of complications from HIV. Now, Dr. Lawrence Tepish, who is a geneticist, has been trying for years to cure cancer, all of the dementia-related diseases, and the newest in the 80s, HIV. But he doesn't do it in time. And Freddie Mercury, as we all know, died
Yep.
in November of 1991, which is where book two starts. Book two takes us all the way, with the introduction of some new interesting characters, to the brink of Thebatat's war with humanity, and Terry, and the alien, and Dr. Tepish. What's going to happen? That is what happens in book three, which starts from 2024 and takes us all the way to 2105, which will be the finale of book three. Now, throughout all three books, you hear about this sixth extinction level event.
Hmm.
Are we headed towards an apocalypse or not? Well, hard to say because humanity is very unpredictable. And I have done some research, real scientific research, things you can Google right now about something called the sixth extinction level event.
Hmm.
We've had five major events since the world was created 4.6 billion years ago. And I thought when I started writing the story in 82, I didn't know much about this. I do now. The sixth extinction level event's been going on for over 10,000 years.
It's already started?
It started 10,000 years ago. And it doesn't necessarily mean the extinction of humanity, because if we're in the sixth extinction level event and human beings are still around, obviously we did something to avert such a disaster. And the sixth extinction level event is culminating now. I know there are a lot of disbelievers out there, which is why it's a fiction story, but global warming is real.
Yes.
I was at my pool one day, literally swimming, and a 7-year-old kid asked his mother, this is not in the book, this is like something that really happened. He said, Mommy, does the earth have a fever? Does the earth, I was stopped dead I was doing laps and I was stopped dead in my tracks and I had to look, who is this kid?
Yeah.
I think that children these days are a lot more sensitive to what's
Yes.
going on the planet.
Yeah.
And well, then I gave him credit for it because, I'm 163. You're 166.
Yeah.
We know. Uh, You know, you're the one that gave me the idea of my new newsletter, which the last time we saw each other, we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right.
Let me finish the story. So, anyway, the story goes to the year 2105, and we find out who she is, who her immortal menagerie is. So, there. Is that a better, more concise description of my space opera?
Yeah, I like that. I'm getting it now. Real deal. Now, where should our readers read these in order?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's very
definitely.
important. In fact, you know, there are there's free material for book two that Kindle allows you to look at online on Amazon.
Yes.
I recommend not reading that because it's going to spoil some of the
Great.
stuff that happens in book one for you.
Okay.
I asked them if they wouldn't put anything, and they said, well, if you don't want us to put anything up there, we could do that. But, you know, people aren't going to get even a tease about what book two is about.
Yeah.
Well, you could, but if you do read the teaser for book two, which of course, now that I've said it, everybody's going to do it. Everybody's already done it anyway. But I think that if you do read it, it's going to spoil some of the fun of book
Yeah.
one. And then when you get to the end of book one, you're going to be, that was cool when we discovered that this person's really like this. But then if you read the beginning of book two, you're going to go, what? I thought I didn't know anything about that particular character. All right, I'll just tell you. The spoiler is that the second book starts with Dr. Tepish and his secret. But that secret's revealed towards the end of book one.
Mm.
Read it in book two, you're going to be like, wow, yeah, I see it coming.
Yeah.
So yes, read them in order.
Start with book one, which is a menagerie.
Her Immortal Menagerie, Secret Scrolls is the
Yeah.
first one. Her Immortal Menagerie, Ethos of Legends is the second one.
Okay.
And the
And
third one will be out. I'm not going to give you a date.
now I
But it
know
will be
I know
out.
the answer to these questions, but I ask the same question anyway. Where do people get these books?
Oh, right now they're going to get them on Amazon. And I'd like to go into a little sidebar for other authors out there, because this is a show about helping other authors, right?
Yes.
For the last 3 weeks until December 5th, I didn't know this until I received emails from people in Ireland,
Ah,
Belgium, France, and Germany that my book was not available there. Book one of Her Immortal Menagerie Secret Scrolls was
hmm.
not available. I was freaked out because book two was available,
Yeah.
but it would be kind of ridiculous to buy book two, which is available in those countries,
Yeah.
if book one's not.
Right.
Well, Amazon had a glitch in their system. A glitch, which means artificial intelligence has taken over the world. If you've never seen the Terminator, where Skynet kills humanity and all that, because it became self-aware, well, I think we're there.
We're there.
Oh, believe me. And you know, Mike, is there any business that you can call nowadays and get a person on
Nope.
the phone
Nope.
right away?
No, doesn't happen anymore. By the way, our show is seen. We had guests today in Scotland and in Israel and in UK. We have guests from all over. So yeah, we got to have your books available in those countries.
Exactly. And I received emails from people that wanted to buy them saying,
Yeah.
I can't get your book in Ireland. I can't get your book. What do you mean? And when I called Amazon, they said, you're right. Well, I know I'm right. Help me.
So
if
speaking of calling, you just call Amazon. They answer the phone. Say hi, this is
No.
Amazon. You say,
You
hey, my
have to-
book's not there.
Remember that button I told you they made disappear?
Yeah.
Well, it's back.
Yeah.
I guess enough of us enough self-published authors have complained
Yeah.
about being unable to contact them. Well, the button is back. And I was able to, you have to request a call back. And they do. They call you back within like 2 minutes.
That's
which is
nice.
Very good.
Peter, I'm
Great.
going to rush you along a little bit here because I got some things we got to get out in the open. You got the books out. What else are you doing? You have some music. You had any screenplays? What's going on in your life?
So you did get the email. They did print it out for you. I've been, well, you yourself have a music degree, if I'm
Yes,
if
sir.
I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. Master's degree, but it's nothing.
What?
It's a master's degree, but it's nothing.
Well, I wouldn't say a master's degree in music is nothing, Mike.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have begun reviving my music career. I did have a lot of professional music recorded back in the 80s and 90s,
Yeah.
and I'm remastering them using this program that the gentleman who was just helping us get back online here has been teaching me. It's a program called Audacity,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very audacious,
Yeah.
and it allows you to remaster things that you've had on cassette. It will actually split things with the instruments and the vocals
Yeah.
and the drums and the bass, all in separate tracks in this
Yeah.
program. It was
Wow.
like magic. You put the song. Well, I have a machine that you can buy. It's like $100, and you play your cassette, and it literally transfers it into an MP4. And then from there, you put it into Audacity, and it splits it into all the tracks,
All
and
the
you can
tracks.
remaster it.
Is
So
that
I've done the
amazing?
huh?
Yeah. When you recorded the music, what were you recording onto? Nothing like that, right?
No, I was recording onto 24-track tape.
Yeah. Yeah.
The days of tape. Everything's digital now.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
the taped music gets automatically, I don't know how it does it. It
Yeah.
just takes all of the tracks from a 2-track cassette tape
Yeah.
and splits it into all of the tracks because I've done 16 to 24-track
Yeah.
recordings. And I've got 2 of them up online now. I'm about to put a third one after your show. I mixed it last night. It was at 2 o'clock in the morning. And my young
Amazing.
millennial friend said, Peter, you're on Mike's show tomorrow. Go to bed.
I
Oh,
I'm glad you brought this up because I have so many recordings I did on the in the '80s, and I know I have them in a box somewhere, but they're
I'd be
way out.
happy to walk you through it. Just
Yeah.
give me just give me a call. You have my
Let's
number.
do that. Peter, we're way out of time.
Oh my God.
We
So I
can
didn't,
we
well, I
can
pretty
see.
much told you everything I wanted to tell. Oh, the thing is, other authors, check your books. Make sure that they are available
Yeah.
worldwide because Amazon is doing something strange well, AI is doing something
Yeah.
strange. They're not going to kill us militarily. They're going to kill us with high blood pressure and a heart attack while you're
That's
waiting
right.
for a person to get on the phone.
That's right. By the way, what are we going to find at peterlancellotti.com? Will you find your music there?
We'll find some music there. We're going to find one of the deleted stories from Alive After Dying, the memoir that I told you about I was going to
Yes.
do.
Yes.
You're going to find some new poetry. I'm putting the poetry books on hold because I'm going to take a year off making audibles of all 4 of the books and market the heck out of them.
Are you going to use your own voice?
I am.
I just tell you, I listen to a lot of audible books, and when the author's voice is on there, it's a different book. It's just wonderful. I'm glad you're going to do that.
Well, I have some characters who have I have a French character, and how do you do a French accent unless you actually know how to do one? And, how do you do a British accent unless you know how to do one? And, things like that. I'm pretty good with that.
Well, we're just going to have to book you again, Peter. We never get through all of it.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Mike, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And by the way, 3 days hence is our 1-year anniversary where I was on your show for the first time.
Is that 1 year? Oh boy! Well, when I say you're one of my favorite guests, I really truly mean that. I always enjoy. You're an easy guest because I just sit back and you run with it. So that's what I need.
I was trying to keep my answers so concise. Well, I think I did better this time instead of my, ADHD thing.
All right, Peter. We will talk to you next time. And for our viewers, stick around. We have another guest coming up right after this.
Thank you, Mike.